I just got back from ServiceTitan's Pantheon event, and oh boy, do I have some thoughts on where marketing is headed, not just with ServiceTitan, but in general. So buckle up, because this is important not just to marketers, but to plumbers just like you.
The Mammoth Plumber Podcast with Tyler Williams on the mic. He's dropping marketing gold, making your business spike.
All right, so I went to Pantheon, ServiceTitan's big event where they unveil a whole bunch of new features. And of course, I went to as many of the marketing things as I could, talked to some vendors, met some clients face to face, which is always wonderful, and really dove in. But, you're probably wondering, well, what do I need to know? I think you need to know a lot, because basically what ServiceTitan is now doing is, I think, setting some things in step that is going to affect the marketing industry as a whole. And really, this is where the industry is kind of moving. And honestly, I'm all here for it at this point. So what am I talking about? I'm sure you're wondering. So ServiceTitan has Marketing Pro, which is an add-on to their existing CRM that really helps you optimize your campaigns depending on the data that's inside of your CRM itself. What does that mean? Well, you got to remember that marketing campaigns on a digital front require data to go back up into the platform, right? So for instance, Google ads, PPC ads, are very expensive. So you want to optimize those things to the best ability possible. Well, there's always a little bit of a disconnect, because ServiceTitan couldn't pump the data of the revenue that you got back into Google within like the time frame that they wanted. And now they fixed that by kind of utilizing a little bit of AI, but mainly just saying, hey, we think this is how much this job is worth. Let's give that data back to Google. Now Google can run all those campaigns with that in mind and try and find you better customers. So there's all this technicality that goes into it, but I don't want to dwell too much on that, because it's technicality. You really shouldn't be worrying about that too much on your end, because you should have somebody on your team usually handling that, or an agency handling that for you, either a marketing person or an agency that's doing it. But what I do want you to know is what this means in the grand scheme of things. So I'm seeing this sea change in marketing over the past few years, where we're all competing against each other on these same platforms. And so, of course, things got really expensive. And that's one of the challenges that we've had with over the years, as just more plumbers moved all their budgets over to digital. And then with COVID, more plumbers entering the market than ever before. So what it's done is it's created a little bit of a supply and demand issue. Now it's super expensive to get a customer off of like Google search. And this helps you kind of get a little bit of an edge. And that's a market where you need the edge as much as possible. But it took such a engineering approach of like making sure all of the prompts and things for your ads were all in a good spot, that people had a tendency to leave the kind of the core of marketing and advertising on the table, which is messaging. It is saying things, right? So now what I'm seeing is, with ServiceTitan's integration with the CRM and sort of your actual customer data and your revenue data getting back up into these platforms, because they're going to integrate it with Facebook too, it allows the conversation to change. It allows the people to go back to what marketing really is. Because it used to be that you just placed your ads with your publishers and you would have an overlying strategy, but you weren't sitting there trying to figure out how to run the printing press. And that's kind of what Google Ads has become, and even Facebook ads. Like, it became like, man, how do we optimize specifically for these things? And in that element of the entire marketing industry basically becoming engineers on a technical level, I think that it's either pushed out a lot of people, or they just kind of lost the plot of, man, I'm showing up in all the right places, but am I actually saying something that resonates with my audience? And that's where, that's what I make my stake my claim on, is you need to be better at communicating than anybody else in your market. And you're otherwise, it doesn't matter if you got all the good things going for you. So this is exciting to me, because I think what this does is it frees up the world a little bit to be back thinking about, rather than just say expert plumber in Denver, how do I actually communicate to my audience instead of communicating to an algorithm? And that's the problem that we've been facing, is people started saying, how do I please the algorithm? And it really should be, how do I please the human, the person who actually pays me? right? And so it's exciting because AI is actually starting to allow the conversation to change back into this. And from a creative standpoint, giving us far more tools than ever before in order to say things and do things faster and more convincingly and more interestingly than ever before. And that's a whole nother ball game that we can get into some other time. But so I've got a couple clients who are on Marketing Pro. They're looking at the ad optimizer, like they already have all the functionality because they're just fully bought into ServiceTitan. And rather than me trying to find a third-party software in order to do this, I get to just use the CRM. And I think that this is something that will happen to other CRMs down the road. House Call Pro, Jobber, well, maybe not Jobber. They're kind of in a different boat. But House Call Pro, maybe Sarah, Field Edge. I mean, it'd be cool if they left the data out so that way, not left it out, but either allowed access to it or just integrated with it. That's really what ServiceTitan is trying to do. They're trying to build a better version of the mousetrap sort of deal. So anyway, I'm excited for it because it allows my team to focus back on how do we write well, how do we communicate well, how do we be persuasive in these platforms instead of, oh crap, did we check that text box, that little click, checkbox in there? Do we need to analyze our keywords and all these things that take our eye off the ball a little bit because it turns us into technicians, not into persuaders and influencers. And that's really, I don't mean influencers from like social media stuff, but like our job is to tell your customers, hey, this is the client, this is the company that you need. And our job is to be persuasive in that field. And so we're getting back into old school, folks. It's the print and radio funny ads days all over again. And this means that those who actually have the courage to dive deep into that will probably end up winning that game. So if you're interested in like what your marketing looks like, talk to my team. Go to tylerwilliams.net, schedule a consult, because we will give you a roadmap for free. You don't have to buy anything, but we will tell you what our services are. But you probably need to know that pricing anyway, so that way you can plan accordingly. So back to the way everything's kind of going, I'm excited. Some people are going to be a little bit creeped out by it. I'm not. I'm just like, awesome. This is the way the world is going. I'm there for it. It's going to be an exciting year.
Want to grow your business? Here's the plan. Go to tylerwilliams.net and be the top in the land. Now let me tell you the epic tale of how Tyler Williams became the marketing man. His story begins when he was just a year-old lad. His mother needed a plumber, but their ads were so bad. The house flooded and sank, and young Tyler was mad. Swallowed by the earth, into the abyss they fell. He blamed the bad marketing that led them to this hell. At 1 year old, he vowed to the stars above he'd harness marketing power and give plumbers some love. He's Tyler Williams, the marketing baby. From tragedy he rose to bring plumbers joy. With a vow to the stars and a plan in his hand, he's the one who'll save them, the marketing baby. 10 years later, he set out on a quest to find ancient secrets that would make him the best. He tamed Mark the Mammoth and rode the wilderness fast, fighting bland campaigns, leaving them in the past. In a glowing cave with lights so bright, he found a dead wizard clutching tablets of might. For 30 long years, he studied those stones, deciphering marketing secrets that shook him to his bones. He's Tyler Williams, the marketing boy, imbued with power, turning pain into joy. With fire in his eyes and stone-carved campaigns, he brings plumbers the truth to ease their pains. Years later, he emerged from the cave, riding Mark the Mammoth, a legend so brave. Back to Alaska with tablets in tow, he chiseled new ads ready to make them glow. His campaigns were epic, like discovering fire. Plumbers would soar, lifted ever higher. He hit the launch button, the world wasn't prepared. Neighborhoods flooded with jokes as Tyler declared. After 40 long years of learning marketing power, the baby became a boy The boy became a man, and now Tyler Williams finally became the fabled marketing man. He's Tyler Williams, the marketing man, bringing plumbers out of the Stone Age as fast as he can. With jokes and memes, he blankets the land. Soccer moms swoon, it's all part of the plan. Now Tyler roams the world with boldness and might, crafting campaigns that set everything right. He's bald, bearded, with glasses in place, laughs at his jokes, but they're never out of place. With a smile and a wink, he launches the show. His ads are dumb, but they make plumbers grow. He's the marketing man, with campaigns so grand, bringing plumbers out of the Stone Age as he planned. So when you see Tyler, remember his quest. He's the marketing man who's simply the best. Bald and bold, with a mission so grand. He's Tyler Williams, the marketing man.